Hello, my Buffalo Thousand Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. All right, we are back with another That chapter. This one is titled The Disturbing Lizzie Marriott Affair. I believe that's how you pronounce that last name. Not too sure. Not good with names. All right, I'm excited for it. I love that chapter. So let's go ahead and get into this story. Go ahead, turn them lights down low. Put on something comfy. Go up with someone special. Let's get spooky. Where'd my play button go? There it is.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this whole video, what I'm going to do with you today is take you on a trip to New Hampshire. Join us, New Hampshire. You know, if you work hard enough, you could soon be alongside such luminaries as Florida, Texas, Ohio. This story is messed up. And before I begin, I put out 2 videos every week, so please subscribe if that's for you. And let's get into this one. When University of New Hampshire student, 19-year-old Lizzi Marriott, vanished in 2012, the search was on. It would eventually lead to a disturbing individual and a couple who would not take no for no answer. Let's give it a go. In eastern New Hampshire, you'll find Durham, you'll find Dover, and you will find the University of New Hampshire. One of America's top public universities, it's home to over 15,000 students doing their thing. Learning, of course, with a major in drinking. Founded in 1866, its most popular majors are business, engineering, and biological shit. Which is biological. It's close to the sea, and that was important to one Elizabeth Marriott, who was, you know, like there in 2012. She was a sophomore studying marine biology at the University of New Hampshire, having previously studied at Manchester Community College for her freshman year. Elizabeth was originally from Westborough, Massachusetts, and after graduating high school in 2011, she was eager to begin studying marine biology. Sharks. How do they work? As a kid growing, she would always have little turtles or frogs and whatnot. She had previously volunteered at the New England Aquarium, and so now, at 19 years old, she was following her dreams. She was living with her aunt and uncle in Chester, New Hampshire, in the autumn of
She knew what she wanted. Heck yeah. Gotta respect that. Gotta respect that a lot.
2012. She had moved to be with family closer to university, about a half-hour away. And so as she was hitting the books, she also got a part-time job working at a Target in Greenland. There's a town called Greenland. And now living out of her home state, but not too far away, she's just making new friends at work, new friends at university. Hey, life was good. It was that cool, crisp.
You wouldn't agree with me? The better they sound at the beginning, the worse they get at the end. It's a trend. It's a trend. Yeah. You always hear happily ever after. No one really, thinks about the happily ever beginning and then the never after that ever comes. Yeah.
New England fall, that the fall came. On the 9th of October, the weather was cooling, about 11 degrees Celsius. Scattered clouds, light breeze, and rain was in the air. It was that evening that Lizzi Marriott disappeared. That dark evening, she left class late. She was out after 8 p.m, and from there, she was due to visit a friend's apartment over in Dover, maybe a 15-minute drive. This wasn't a surprise or anything. She had left a note at her aunt and uncle's place saying she was, heading over there and, don't wait up. Don't worry. Well, when there was no sign of Lizzi, the following morning, they worried. But they assumed, she'd just crashed at her friend's gaff, and then, she'd work, she'd college, she'd come home. No chance. She had left on Tuesday, and then by Thursday morning, that's when the real worry and the panic set in. Lizzi Marriott was reported missing to the police.
Oh, shit.
All right, we're asking for your help tonight, so listen up now.
One time I would love to hear a story about how everything went right at the beginning and it didn't get all kinds of fuckered before the end.
Now, the FBI and state police
We're only 3 minutes into it. Fuck.
Police have joined now in a case of a missing UNH student. They are asking for help finding Lizzi Marriott, last heard from after class at UNH on Tuesday night, and since then, all contact has been lost.
I mean, this is the parents' nightmare, not knowing.
Lizzi Marriott's father says he's hoping this is all a misunderstanding.
There are so many what ifs that I don't want to think about right now.
She did send a text message out. She told a couple of friends that she was going to be over their house.
Police say her last cell phone activity was traced to Dover around 10 p.m., but she never arrived at her friend's apartment.
She is a missing person. We haven't ruled anything in or anything out. Our one goal has been to find her and to bring her home to her parents and her brother.
Can you say anything about this new group of friends she was supposed to meet up with in Dover on Tuesday night after class?
I can tell you that we're aware of those individuals, and state police is contacting those individuals.
Lizzie's car was eventually tracked down to the University of New Hampshire's car park, but there wasn't really a whole lot to go on from there. After all, Lizzie had said she was going over to her friend's house in Dover, so had she made it, or no? And the police didn't know who these friends she had said she had wrote that little note, who they were. She had made so many new friends in work and in college. There was like friends, okay, friends, yes, friends. Her family who had driven up from Massachusetts. Who was they? They were eventually tracked down, and it turned out that evening, Lizzie had made plans to go and meet up with a new friend named Kat McDonough. Kat and Lizzie had met working together in Target. Kat, she was,
Oh, God.
kooky.
Oh,
Another
fuck.
friend of Lizzie's, also a fellow
But never showed up. Who is this? I'm worried as well. Sorry, it's Nate. Have you told the police that?
co-worker in Target was the one who had told Lizzie's family her plans that evening. And in fact, this friend named...
Yeah, they called me. Yeah, they called and told me she was missing. I told them everything I knew.
of Nate had been texting Kat to see if she knew anything about what was going on. He was texting Kat, but
With the emoji.
she texted back, she never made it. Don't know what you're on about. Haven't seen her. Maybe she never made it from the university at all. Kat was living at the time in Dover with her boyfriend, Seth Mazalia. He was a little older than Kat. He was 30 years old, so a decade older than herself. They had met each other at a local theater. Look at them here, having a grand old time.
As I am, an honest puck. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Yeah, settle down and catch up. Are you going to burst into song?
I can.
Well, yeah. Do you want to?
I've got one a cappella. You go right away.
Please don't. Please don't
I've
sing.
got a crow. How can I hide it when deep down inside it just tickles me so?
It's not
That
bad.
I gotta let go and grow.
Well, she certainly had some pair of lungs on
She did pretty good, though. She could reach the back of the freaking building with lungs like that, but...
her. And here's Seth.
Dahlia, 5123.
Yeah, that'll do.
And Pyramus. You'll figure it out fast enough. Quail, rush, conclude and quell, come tears, confound, outsword and wound. Thus die I. Thus.
Well, he's certainly a community theater actor, I'll give him that. He's a wild man. Watch out for this guy, he's crazy. And perhaps Kat should have started watching out for him because, they met at the theater, they started dating, and then she completely changed.
Oh, shit.
She became a bit more out there, though also not. She cut herself off from her friends and her family. She wouldn't hang out anymore. No more phone calls, she isolated herself from her own life. Seth was all-consuming. I mean, look at this guy, like a moth to a flame. Seth was an all-or-nothing kind of guy. He had grown up on the coast in Portsmouth. He was an instructor in your karate. Sensei Seth, he went by. He was an obviously skilled actor, and he even had a degree from the University of New Hampshire in...
I mean, obviously. I mean, look at that. Look at that, bud. That is some talent. I mean... oh, wait a minute, hold on. That emotionalist space that he has as he's dying.
Theater. He was a graduate of the Citizens Police Academy and a certified EMT. He was now working in Best Buy. So as you can see, he had...
Damn, all that shit and now he's working at Best Buy. That's awful. I'm not working at Best Buy, but to be like an EMT and everything else and you're going to work at Best Buy? What the fuck?
Varied interests. Emergency services, cops, acting, fighting. But, I guess you could kind of say he was like a jackass of all trades. But hold your horses, because he had one more interest that he was just dogging about. He was mad about it.
You'll figure it out fast
You're a jackass of all trades, my dude.
enough.
When he wasn't recommending what new video game to buy in Best Buy, he was big into the B. B for bondage, BDSM, all that sort of stuff. Whips and chains and...
Arg me, matey. He likes to have his timbers shivered. Probably want a cracker, lassie.
All that. He was a hound dog for it, and he was always looking for some sexual slaves, and he was doing so with Kat. They had this little BDSM...
What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh shit. Okay, so... Oh god. So, he was down the clown, right? I mean... I don't even know, like... So, some BDSM, huh? Some whips and chains. Scramble them brains.
fetish, and it even placed some ads looking for fresh meat. Now, I'm not gonna kink shame, whatever.
Oh god. Mike, that.
You're into, as long as it's, you got the consent. It's all good. But this ad is pretty funny. My lord and I are looking to acquire a live-in slave for sexual pleasure and housework. I mean, I thought BDSM was all about sex, but sure, fuck it. Do the dishes while you're at it. He is the dom of the house and the master. I am a nymphomaniac switch, and I switch from slave, sub, dom. So you may never know what mood I'm in. This is how our household works. We also have a cat. Glad they threw that in there. Also, be available for some form of sex at potentially any given time. Whoa, what a life of surprise. What happens in your free time will be approved by the master. Well, that sounds pretty fucking terrible. Now, did Lizzie know what her new friends...
I need a second. Oh god. Do people really put ads like that out? Like, where did they put that ad out? Why did they have to include the cat? Is this, so people with allergies? We can't have you getting beat with whips and doing dishes at the same time while sneezing all over the fucking place now. Come on now, man. Can't walk around with a ball gag in your mouth, drooling and snot out your nose 24 hours a day if you're sneezing all over the damn place.
We're into, would she have been a fan of that? Care to partake? No, was the answer from Lizzie's friends and family. She was like, not into that sort of thing. Wasn't her cup of tea. So back to the investigation. One that was at the point where Lizzie said she was going to Kat's, but Kat said she never came over. The police took both Kat and Seth in. Kat answered questions, but stopped talking after about 2 hours. She said Lizzie never came over. In the next room, Seth was telling a very different tale. Over the course of about 11 hours, Seth, his story changed. First he said she hadn't come. Then he said she had come over. And he said that now Lizzie was dead.
The man accused of killing a University of New Hampshire student is being held without bail tonight. 29-year-old Seth Muxaglia is accused of strangling or suffocating 19-year-old Lizzi Marriott of Westboro, Massachusetts.
You figure he could act like he didn't do it better than that, you know what I mean? His acting skills just wasn't up to par, now was they? Fool, you should have acted innocent. Not guilty of shit.
Police have refused to say
someone didn't hand him a script.
What led to his arrest? Marriott disappeared nearly a week ago. Her body has not been found.
Seth Muxaglia was arrested and charged with murder. In the dumpster behind his apartment, they found gloves and other murder items, including underwear with both his and Lizzie's DNA on it. See, Seth and Kat were big into BDSM and bondage, all that good stuff. But what had started out as people, doing their thing, Seth had been, more or less, descending from adults and consent into a violent, controlling, abusive rapist, under the guise of bondage and dominance. What Seth told the police in that interview is never...
Fuck. So BDSM's like a gateway drug to raping and pillaging? Holy shitballs, Batman.
Never been released, but a couple of weeks later, Kat would come back and have a new story to tell. Or maybe just one version of it, at least.
Seth was sitting, and the two of us were kind of just goofing around. It started going from silly to sexual. It started getting a little more intense.
That Lizzie had come over to watch a flick. They had started fooling around. The three of them got into bed, all aboard, to pound down. Kat said that Lizzie agreed to be bound.
Did you really have to say to pound down? Oh God. My face hurts. This is too much. So dude started off as straight up just down with some weird ass freaky. She was lying. She's probably still lying. He couldn't act worth a shit. He later on becomes like this closeted rapist. Oh. Good golly, Miss Molly. I'm lost for words. I'll be fuckered.
Drew a picture of what they did.
I had tied harnesses on me before, but it was the first time I'd ever tied harnesses on someone else.
She then said Lizzie had a seizure during this and died. She suffocated. It was an accident. Things had gone wrong, things had gotten out of hand, and then they had tried to cover it up.
What kind of fucking hog time bullshit is that? I should have used a Canadian Slipknot, bro. I don't know.
What they did was dump her body off Pierce Island and bring her car and park it in the university.
Why? Okay, if it was like some kind of sexual shit and everyone was down the clown and you tied her up, And something like that happens, why did you just not call 911? Why did you dump the body? Why freak out and dump the body unless you're doing something wrong? Don't give me that bullshit. I was scared. The fuck you was. You were scared that she was going to go to jail for murder. Because you murdered someone.
It was too much to handle. I was freaking out.
Okay.
Can't act with the shit either, bruh.
Now, to date, this happened in 2012. It's 2022. Lizzi Marriott's body has never been found. And so that story that Kat told didn't really make sense to anyone. Either those who knew Lizzi or those that had a brain. Lizzi had a girlfriend as well. She had been in a long-term relationship. So, Lizzi wouldn't fool around. So that's what Kat said happened. Well, what did Seth say had happened? How close are these two stories?
Yeah.
Well, he said much the same. Lizzi came over. They started having sex. There was an accident. Lizzi, she had a seizure, and she suffocated to death. And yeah, long story short, they dumped the body as well. The police found both to be untrue. What the prosecution said happened was that Lizzi had went over. Kat and Seth had tried to initiate sex. That was their whole thing. Lizzi said no, and so she was raped and murdered, and then dumped in the sea.
Your Honor, before the court is Catherine McDonough, and representing her is Attorney Russman.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Attorney Russman. How are you this morning?
I'm well, Your Honor. Good morning. Thank you for taking the time to have this arraignment with us this morning.
Kat, too, would be arrested on conspiracy charges and hindering prosecution. She would be offered a deal, 3 years instead of over 20, if she testified against Seth. Bit of a no-brainer. She said yes. And now Kat would tell a different story. This is story number 3, if you're keeping track.
You'll figure it out fast enough.
He does things so perfectly. Mwah, Chef Keese. Mike, you are a genius, my friend.
In the fall of 2012, Lizzi was attending the University of New Hampshire, her first semester there.
She said Seth murdered Lizzi. It was no accident. Seth had full control over her, and he demanded she bring in a friend. In August of 2012, 6 weeks before Lizzi was killed, Seth had texted Kat. "It's time I punished you, you filthy little whore. You choose a friend. Any of yours will do, and you offer her to me, that I may do anything I wish with her, while you watch and assist in any way I might command you to do so. I think it would be fitting if the first thing you saw me do when you got back is pleasure one of your friends until they died of," the word was blacked out, "and only then turned my brutal attention to you." Kath had thought that was a-okay and obeyed. She had brought Lizzi
What? I mean, is it okay to talk to people like that now? What? You dirty bitch! Bring me your friend. I'm gonna. If she dies right in front of me, you're gonna help. Is that okay? That's not. I don't think that's how things are supposed to be. No. I that's just what?
Her new friend who had just moved to New Hampshire, that they had met at work.
Oh my god.
Come on over. They had been texting that day and were due to just watch a flick. They hung out.
Oh, let me take it back a little bit. We are free till a little after 10 tonight. Feel free to come over. Okie dokie. Can't wait, darling. Sweet, see you then.
Watch a flick. They hung
Hopping in the shower, be out in 20 minutes, just in case you're out early.
out and then started playing strip
Okie
poker.
dokie, just got out of class.
Seth wanted to take this to the next level, and Lizzi said no. Seth then asked if he could have sex with Kat, while Lizzi watched. No, I'm grand.
Nah, bro, I'm good. Like, what kind of fucked up shit you into, dog? Nah.
Was the answer.
He said something like if that was okay with her, and she said that it wasn't because she was in a very committed relationship and she just didn't want to be a part of that.
This made Seth, a Seth who was very used to getting his...
Made him angry. You won't like Seth when he gets angry. He's gonna act at you.
His own way. He was a big old baby. It made him very angry. So while Lizzi and Kat were watching a movie, he went on, he put on gloves, grabbed a rope, and came up behind Lizzi. He then strangled her to death.
She was sitting right next to me, and he moved up close behind her. He was still on the bed, and he wrapped the rope over her head and around her neck and started pulling on it. She let out a quick noise. And then she sort of stopped moving. The whole scene was just so unbelievable and just so shocking that it was just easier just to do what he said.
Then, after she was dead, he had sex with her body.
You had this.
Oh! Oh! Why? When people die, the bad things come out of them. Why would you want to pediddle a dead body? Oh. I threw up a little bit in my mouth. Oh, so what? Why? Why do I do this to me? Oh God. Oh. So literally, she's like, "No, bro, fuck you. I don't get down like that. Like, I'm in a committed relationship with someone else. Like, no." Fine then. Hulk angry. Walks down, comes up, kills her, and then what the fuck? Oh my God. Okay. Okay.
Discussed with the jurors. Take a moment. Judge, maybe we can take a break now.
It was because of us that she never got to live her life. Because this isn't something we can fix. She can never come back.
At one point, two friends popped over to the apartment, one Roberta and Paul. They saw Lizzi's dead body. They advised to call an ambulance and then quickly noped out of there.
The body itself was naked with the exception of underpants. The head was covered in a grocery bag.
Her first thought?
We need to get these bags off. Is she still alive? I'm kind of in the back of my head, I already knew that she was not. It was framed like it was an accident, that something had gone horribly wrong. It's almost like I broke something I shouldn't have.
So then, Seth and Kat put her body in a suitcase got in Lizzie's car, and drove out to Pierce Island. Then they took her body out and threw her off a cliff.
Oh my god.
They then parked Lizzie's car back at the university. Then later, Seth, he tried to frame Roberta and Paul for the... Well, he wanted to frame Roberta and Paul for the murder. They just popped in. He wanted to maybe tell some stories and get Kat to tell some stories that maybe they hung around a little bit longer than they said. He also tried to escape jail. He gave an inmate who was on the way out money to buy and then sell drugs for profits, and then buy guns and escape vehicles to get to a country that had no extradition treaty. They would need pretty goddamn good escape vehicles to get all the way across the world. But this guy who he gave money to, he just left prison and bought drugs for himself. Seth was also completely batshit, and a big Skyrim fan. Can't fault him there. You'll notice from this letter he wrote to Kat while he was in jail. In the letter he called Kat Scarlet. They had these little names for each other.
Dear Scarlet, my love, I love you, I miss you. This letter explains and begins spelling out rituals to reset and recall past lives. Of course, if all else fails, a return to Sovngarde is always possible, if not ideal. You need to follow through 2 lessers or 1 major. For 7 days, 1 major and 2 lessers or 2 majors. If at any point you do more than necessary, the extra energy will help. So within the time limit, do as many as you can, and then come visit me in Sovngarde.
As you heard, the letter is kind of all about rituals and that sort of thing. Magic, weird shit. Big into that kind of stuff, so he was. Jack shit it would do to help.
You cry without tears, Miss McDonough?
What?
You cry without tears?
I don't know. Sometimes, I guess.
The defense stuck with the accident story from...
You cry without tears, ma'am. I like that. She is a better actor than the old dude, though, ain't she?
Before. And that Kat was lying.
I didn't really know what he had planned.
Talked about taking her body out. You did not flinch.
It's because I was making up a story. I was adding details, but a lot of it was just a story. It wasn't real, so I was able to push the images aside and just think about keeping up with the fake story I was telling you. And then, I mean, right now it's just... This is when it's really being told. This is when everyone's finding out. I mean, this is when her family really gets to find out. And this is when I'm sitting in the same room as him.
Ultimately, one of the key pieces of evidence were the gloves that Seth had worn and were recovered. That showed he had planned it. He wouldn't have been wearing them if they had been having some kind of consensual sex and it was an accident. Seth was ultimately found guilty of first-degree murder.
In the matter of State versus Seth Mazelia, the first charge, purposeful first-degree murder by strangulation. Do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty? Guilty. Guilty is the verdict of purposeful first-degree murder by strangulation. So say you all members of the jury.
Yes.
Yes.
He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole.
Mazelia, or does he wish to speak? This is his opportunity under our Constitution to speak.
Bro, you're going to get your booty hole Skyrimmed by a ping. Piece of shit. I just wish she was getting more time. I do. I don't... Okay, I can't say that she's lying, but I can't say she's telling the fucking truth either. She is definitely a better actor than no dude. 100%. But I don't know if she's telling the truth. I don't think she is. I'm pretty sure she's lying her ass off. But she's believable-ish. Believable-ish. Dude's going to prison forever. Yes. No, bro.
Speak if he wishes.
Mazelia, I'm not authorized. Mr. Mazelia?
I do wish to speak. I did not rape and murder Elizabeth Marriott.
No, you murdered then rape, bro. He murdered then raped because he's a sick fuck, a very sick fuck, a sick individual. Dude needs to be under the prison, 6 feet, not in prison. Just saying.
However, I do understand the Marriott family's pain. And I did play a part in covering up her death. A mistake that I tried to correct when investigators came to me. I showed them exactly where I had left Lizzie's body. Unfortunately, they were unable to recover her, and for that, I am truly sorry. My heart goes out to the Marriott family, and I am very sorry for their loss. That is all.
Over and out. Roger Dodger. 10-4, good buddy. We don't believe a fucking word you said, Holmes. You killed her. You did bad things to her. You dumped the body. The girl helped you. I have no sympathy for her either. I think she should have got a hell of a lot longer. But I understand she ratted, so, you know, you get a semi-get out of jail free card. And yeah, if, you know, they was really big into the whole BDSM thing, and that was her master, I mean, she could have very well been brainwashed to do his bidding and whatnot, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give two shits about none of that. She should have got longer than 3 years.
Kat McDonough was released from prison in 2016. Good for her. I'm having a hard time deciding if she was maybe another victim in this story too.
I feel him. Like I was saying, like that could have been her master. She could have been brainwashed. I get that, but
Well, leave it up to you guys to decide that one. But I mean, she certainly was completely coerced and controlled by a very abusive sack of shit. But that ends this one. A dark and disturbing guy.
That couldn't act worth a damn.
Seth was, and Lizzie seemed like such a beautiful spirit. Seth, not so much. He was a wackadoo, a madman, who, if it wasn't Lizzie, it would have been someone else. And he probably is. No, he is exactly where he should be, though he probably enjoys it. I mean, after all, isn't prison the ultimate bondage? Thank you.
I don't think he's gonna like it too much there, Mike. He likes being the master. He's got him a big long song master now. He's the sub, not the dom. Family. Sorry. Oh, fuck me. The three things that got me the most. The ad. I didn't truly know that people would actually put ads out like that. And then they had to bring the cat into it. That's just fucked up. Leave that poor kitty alone. 2. The message he sent her. I'm gonna fuck all your friends in front of you and make you watch and join in. Want that be the first thing you see when you come back is me wham, bam, bam, bam until they die of pleasure. It was bleeped out. I'm just going place to bleep of pleasure. And then the letter that they was reading in court. What the fuck shit is that, bud? You can't I think dude has some very serious cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs issues. Alright, if y'all enjoyed today's video as much as I did, please leave a thumbs up. If you're a fan of the spooky, scary, strange, deranged things that just make you just want to take better acting classes, think about subscribing. We'll get through them together. That's right. To be or not to be? That is the question. You should subscribe. And don't forget, for those of you who are interested, the link to the store is down in the description, and the P.O. box is down there too. That's right. Be on the lookout for new merch coming out after the first of the year. I already got some designs in the works. Keep an eye out for that. As always, be good on one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Sir, I did not rape and kill her. No, bro. You killed her and then you raped her. Like, that's disgusting. That's fucked up. You're going to rot and burn in hell for the rest of eternity. And I am literally so happy for that. Like, I'm glad you are in prison with no chance of parole. I'm glad you're getting it in the boom boom every night. There's so many things I'm thankful for. 'Tis the season after all.